What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope you are having a great start to your weekend, a great Saturday evening. We're going to break down what the models are showing today compared to yesterday and really get a feel of what's going to happen really to close out February as we start to get slowly closer to the end of winter. We still have time, especially if you're in the northern areas. There's still a lot of time, a good month and some change for crazy winter weather to happen. So there's definitely still time, but it really looks like we're about to enter a much kind of relaxed period. But there is some things to talk about, and that's what we're going to talk about. But before we get going, if you have not subscribed, definitely much appreciated if you do. In times like this, when the weather's just kind of slow, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Obviously, growth slows down, but you guys have been awesome the first part of 2021. You have really, honestly, I had a goal of 1,000 subscribers in 2020. Y'all surpassed all my goals. You know, basically everything happened and more because of you guys and being able to share a passion of mine with you all. So it's much appreciated. But let's talk about the weather here. So it's not going to be a super long video, so stick around because I'm not going to take up much of your evening here. But check it out here. I want to show you this. This is the Optropical Tidbits, basically the satellite showing clouds. What I want to show you is it's been a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky for the most part in the southeast. Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, except in the Outer Banks here. It is just beautiful. I mean, it's been chilly, but just high pressure is definitely dominating, and it is just absolutely beautiful out there this afternoon and evening. But check it out. You see the motion right here? Those are actually clouds. But if you look at the white right here, that is snow cover. And you see how it's kind of fading away as time progresses, and you can tell it's getting darker. That's because the sun's going down from east to west, right? So that is snow cover over parts of Oklahoma. Look how deep it is right here near the Mississippi River right here. That is just crazy. You know, right in the Memphis area. You can even see a small slither of it in northwest Alabama up to Nashville. You can really see where all this heavy snow fell. It's really starting to thaw out here in Texas. I'm sure by tomorrow y'all won't have a lot of snow cover left really at all, but it's finally starting to thaw out. The snowpack is thick right in here, so I love when there's a good amount of snowpack on the ground in areas far south because you can really get a good idea of where it's sitting. Obviously, you normally have a lot of snowpack up here, but it's pretty cool to look at these satellite imageries for sure. But we're going to look at the latest GFS and run through it here and show you what's changed, what's not. It doesn't matter because it's really far out and what I'm about to talk about here. But this is the system. It's going to move through Sunday night to Monday for areas of the eastern U.S. It's going to be a quick here. I don't think this is going to be a big deal for really anybody. Not a whole lot of significant snow, not a whole lot of significant rain. So, yes, it is going to rain at the start of our work week here in the southeast and northeast and mid-Atlantic. Some places we see snow in the interior northeast, but it's going to be in and out. You're going to start drying out again. By the way, tomorrow is going to be a beautiful Sunday. But here you go. You got a little bit of dip in the trough. You got a high pressure right here. It's not that strong. And this is where that crazy storm was showing up yesterday for this same time frame. Notice it's still got a system here, but it's kind of getting sheared out, suppressed a little bit. It's not really phasing very well. It's not coming together, so it just doesn't come together. So you have a little bit of a dip in the jet stream, and you got a system that tries to get going right at the end, but then it just never really gets going. You can see a little bit of blue in here. Even if it does get going, you got a good placement of where the high pressure is, a decent placement. It's not that strong. Even if this storm, and I think it's going to reappear again, I really do. Even if it does reappear, it's going to be very marginal. So we're going to continue to watch this time frame. We get going, and after this, it kind of gets into long range. But looking ahead, it looks like it shows a big time system for March 1st. March 1st is 9 days away, so things are going to change. But this definitely has that anti-front look to it. And let me tell you, anti-fronts don't really work out very well as far as snow. But look, that looks like a potential severe weather event to start off March. You know, this looks more like a high shear event, which would be stronger winds, if anything. But really, it's really nothing to talk about until we get closer. but that really looks like a strong system. That moves out after that. You just get so far out in time, it doesn't matter. So if we look at temperatures here, we get into Monday. We start to warm up more and more. You got Florida in the 80s. Let's try to get here into the eastern U.S. here. Get a little bit closer. You're starting to warm up in the southeast. Even in the northeast, this is chilly, but it's probably a little above average even for the northeast. Nothing too crazy up there. You get this is low temperatures in the Tuesday morning. Like I said, the frigid air mass is gone. I mean, look at low temperatures for Texas, and it's in the 40s. So y'all are thawing out big time. The entire state of Texas is in the 60s and 70s for your Tuesday. And this warm air over here will begin to shift over here. And by this coming Wednesday, we'll have a beautiful day, be in the 70s, be in the 60s across the south. And, you know, yeah, this is pretty cold, 30s and 20s for the northeast. But it's not really that cold for this time of the year. And then, this is a classic southeast ridge look. You're getting a little bit of a trough push, but you have basically some big time heating ahead of the cold front for Thursday into Friday. So it'll be in the 60s and 70s. And the front kind of pushes through. What happens with this storm? You obviously have some dynamic cooling going on here where you have a cooler area of air really in North Carolina. But is there some kind of system there? We don't know. All I know is I really think Thursday will be in the 60s and 70s for a big chunk of the south. And then really the Carolinas potentially, you could turn around the next day, be in the 40s. It might be that kind of setup. So that kind of happens this time of the year. We get into late February, early March. We start to get into the changing of the seasons, and you just get you can get severe weather, crazy snow events in really any part of the country. So it's just something we have to watch, and you know, we get some weird. Yeah, it's just so far out it doesn't matter. So honestly, it's really hard to talk about that storm until we can get some agreement. But this is the European model. Here comes that first system. It moves through, delivers a quick shot of rain and snow, just depending on where you are. Then we get dry. We get dry from Tuesday to potentially Friday, if the storm. But if you look at the European model, it doesn't really show that storm anymore. It shows some energy around. There's some kind of system here, but it doesn't come together at all. And it also kind of shows that same system the GFS does for around March 1st. So we have to watch that. After that, it gets to a range where it doesn't really matter much. But this is the GFS ensembles. I kind of want to show you this because it gives you an idea of where the ridge is taking place, where the troughs are taking place. The trough is a cold front, where we're getting dips in the jet stream. It really shows you that. So you get into midweek, you get more of a zonal flow, which basically means the cold air is up north, the warm air is down south. You're basically getting the jet stream just going straight across the country, and whoever's north of it maybe has a chance of snow. Whoever's south of it, just plain old rain. But a zonal flow here, right at the end, you get a little bit of a dip in the jet stream. It's really brief, and after that, it's gone, and then does the southeast ridge start to flex a little bit on the southeast, and we start to get above average temperatures? You know, that's 7 days out, guys. So it's so far. And when I'm saying 7 days out because in the changing of the seasons, this is even more needs to be said because this is just when it gets to the change of the seasons, you get some crazy and dynamic weather for sure. You can get severe weather, freak snow events. A lot of people will tell you that. And even in the southeast, you can get snow in March. There's been so many events. Not really as of late. We've had some crazy small events, but you had the early 60s where you had 4 Wednesdays in a row and snow in the Carolinas. You had the 1993 storm, so 96. But it's just not a ton to talk about. We got to figure out what this pattern's going to do. One thing I know for sure is this last full week of February is going to be some nice weather. We're going to have to dodge some rain for Monday, but after that, really, it kind of gets up in the air. There'll be a warm-up mid to late week, and then what happens over the weekend is a question mark. But this is the 1-month outlook from the National Weather Service, so this is all the way through. This is basically for the month of March. So it's saying March is going to be above average temperature-wise for the eastern U.S., so To me, that tells me the pollen storms are coming. So um, let's see what happens. I tell you what, March has been a weird month the last few years, so it's going to be interesting to see what we can really pull together. But that's all I got, guys. I'm going to continue to monitor models, see what goes on. But right now, I'm not really watching any particular area for a major storm, severe weather event, winter storm, or anything in the eastern U.S. So thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Y'all have a great Saturday.